Real estate.
Okay, I say we get started. So we're doing event strategies today, right, Megan?
Yeah, so events has been coming up a ton. I mean, here we are, still in the era we're in, the time of COVID. And so everybody's got their database planning, 36 touches that they're rolling out. And a recurring theme is, what are we going to do to touch the database, client appreciation, get our events in? So today is our mastermind all around event strategy. So we are going to turn the floor back over to you guys so that we can discuss what events are you doing? What's working? What's not working? How are we getting conversion ratios on the calls around the events? What does the activity around the events need to look like? Anything around events, whether it's a win or a fail, is open to share because we want to learn from each other around this topic. So I'm going to turn the floor over. I know you're all here anxious to mastermind around it. So let's open up with a first mastermind question of, what events in the last, what has it been like now, 10 months, have you found were effective for your 36 touch, and why?
We did a blood drive parking lot party, blood drive and a shredding within the same hours. So blood drive is 4 hours long. They register online, and then shredding we just had for 2 hours. Shredding truck here is about $100 an hour. So sponsors paid for that. And we did the shredding right in the middle of that. So some people dropped stuff off early, and we told them, hey, we'd leave it here in the boxes and they'd shred it. And that went really well. The first one, it was really hot in August, and we had a local lollipop company come with their little food truck, and we bought about 100 popsicles and parked out in the parking lot of a country club in the middle of our farm. So that was a big event that we shared publicly. That was an event that we could have unlimited people to come to, and that would be fine. So that was a big success. We actually did that 3 times.
Define big success for us, Hannah, just so we all have the same understanding.
We had, just talking to Sphere, through those times, the Blood Institute was doing free COVID antibody testing. And so that was a big attraction to have that done when you donate blood. And just talking to people, getting out, people loved it. I mean, we called our Sphere, we did multiple touches around each event. August, the end of September, and then again at the end of October. And we did food drives and other charitable donations with each drive. Just touching base. It was a call to talk to your, clients in your sphere and to check in on them. We didn't even talk about real estate. It's just something. I've donated blood usually every 8 weeks, and they were like, hey, we need some help hosting these events. Like, great. I'll throw it all together, do all the marketing and the advertising.
That's not totally true. Let me just poke on this one a little bit because you guys will want to hear about it, I think. So Hannah, you say you didn't talk about real estate, but what was your conversion rate, do you remember, for calls out to the database around the event that led to either a referral or an appointment?
Oh, all those numbers are at the office. I mean, I think at least, 20 people we've talked to, we at least got one referral out of. And then
that's roughly what I remember. 2021.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't have your numbers right pulled up either, but 2021 conversations to appointment or referral.
Yep. And then we ended up at Thanksgiving doing a pie giveaway. The Monday of Thanksgiving, we gave those away. And then that was it for 2020. So that's where I'm excited for this, to see other ideas. We've got another blood drive coming up in March 5th, a Friday.
So to break this down a little bit, because I also think it's important. So you got the referrals and stuff from the specific one that Megan was asking about, and you were explaining to him. What was the total budget cost for that? Do you know?
Oh yeah, budget $200. So, I mean, for marketing, we didn't do any print flyers. We didn't print hardly anything off or mail. It was all electronic, emails, phone calls. We had sponsors cover the $200 cost of the shredding truck, and we had another sponsor cover the 100 lollipops that we got for that one time as well. So just making sure that we're covered, you know, so it's free for us to do these events, and, you know, big opportunity for sponsors. You know, I got their email list from our lender and one of our title companies, and I emailed it out to their people as well. So just sharing, you know, I think it was like spreading the love and the care, you know, made a cool flyer to go along with it. And so very cheap budget and easy to do. Because like blood drive people, you just check them in, and we had an outdoor waiting room, you know, outside that was all spread out. We had music. I mean, we had a lot of fun with it. Our team loved it. I had 2 different shifts you can take morning shift or afternoon. And so our girls on our team, we all had a blast with it.
Who else? Who had a different event or maybe something similar but ran it a different way?
Our team had a really successful event centered around our pie giveaway. We also did a pie giveaway the Sunday before Thanksgiving. Pretty standard. They came to the office, picked up, but we added an element that was so popular. We did Christmas family portraits. We had a whole backdrop set up, and we paid a photographer for like a 4-hour block, and families could register to get their Christmas photos taken. And we offered a free print of their favorite photo if they gave us a referral, which is not that expensive if you get them from, you know, some of those places online. So this was the first year we did that, and I'll be honest, it was put together kind of last minute. I was the one making all the phone calls to like confirm the appointments and remind them if they gave the referral. So we could have done a lot more with it, but for the amount that we did, the return was huge. Huge feedback, positivity from our sphere. We invited all of them on a Facebook event, email blasts. Every single appointment for the photos got scheduled within like 2 hours, and people were begging for more. So we opened up more blocks, and they got filled up within like 30 minutes. So we're probably going to be doing more throughout the year, like spring beach family photos and things like that, just because the sphere is so excited to take part in it that they're willing to have almost any conversation with you around it and during it, because it's something that they really want. And it's so easy. You create a backdrop, or you find beautiful scenery where you don't even need one. You just hire the photographer and they do all the work.
Do you know how much business you pulled out of it, Emily?
So we got 2 referrals at the event. We're a relatively small team. At this point, we had just brought on a 3rd agent. And like I said, I was doing most of the calls last minute. So out of the like 50 people that we had doing photos, we got 2 referrals. I think executed better next year, that rate could be way, way, way higher.
Can I be real nosy, Emily, and even Hannah? You're saying that rate could be higher. Any specific ideas, like what you do differently or how you'd increase that rate?
Yeah, at the time we didn't have an ISA. I would use the heck out of our ISA now to triple, quadruple the amount of calls. I was only making calls to people that actually scheduled the photo appointments, just because that's my bandwidth. But just having way more intentional conversations about also asking for business while you're offering them this free service that they really, really want. You know, why not ask for something in return? And then the follow-up could have been greater. Like I said, we were just bringing on our 3rd agent, so and a listing manager, so my focus was all about onboarding. So I just know that all the touches around it could have been stronger, and we could have done them more frequently. And I think just by having the conversation, we would have gotten more business out of it. I don't think anything about the conversation had to change, just more often.
Yeah, and I think for me, usually we before COVID would do like 4 client events, quarterly. They were pretty big, about 100 to 200 or plus people to come to each one. And kind of through COVID, I was like, all right, what can we do? And that was, the blood drive parking lot party outside. And those were just thrown together. So at that time, I didn't have time to do save the date postcards like we always did, send out an invitation postcard like we did before. So going on to the next one that we have, March 5th, I'm finalizing that marketing pieces this week. So I think that would help, just having it planned and go throughout the playbook that I've created from those other events that have been successful and, going about it that way.
So the
And
theme I'm-
Hannah, thank you for sharing your playbook on the group. That's awesome. Really appreciate it.
So the theme I'm hearing is the event itself is great, but it's all about the touches around the event.
And Emily, what, I might have missed it. For the family portrait event you were talking about, what was the budget for that? Roundabout?
So we combined it with our pie giveaway. So the pies we bought were probably like $250. If you took that out, we had about $400. I think we paid $350 to our photographer for her 4-hour block. And then we paid for lunch for the team, and that was it.
For about how many people?
We had about 100 come and pick up pies, but we only had about 40 photography slots available, and our photographer fit about 10 more in just when there was gaps. So we had about 50 people do photos. And if anyone is interested in doing that event, we had a big learning moment. You don't need that much time to do photos. We were putting like 10 and 15-minute blocks. We decided if we're going to do it again, we'll have X number of slots available for 30 minutes or 1 hour window. So like 15 people can sign up for an hour block instead of one person per 15 minutes. And just as they show up, just roll through them, because the photographer only needs 3 to 5 minutes to get enough good shots.
Hey, Phil, I wanted to add to something too. We do Eventbrite links about all of our events to make everyone register, and we ask for the referral there too. So like if we ask, anyone looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, yes or no, we make it a mandatory question. And if they hit yes, then depending on whose sphere the client is from, we let them know, and then they can follow up with them.
That's awesome. I'm writing that down.
What was that site again? Eventbrite?
Yep, we run all of our events through Eventbrite and make people register. Yeah.
And then what happens with them, just so everyone kind of knows the way that works, Abby, what happens with those leads once you collect them through Eventbrite or your database?
Yeah, so we always ask how they heard about the event. So like we'll have the agent's name. So Ellie, Jessica, myself, anyone else, and then we let them know who has replied yes or no, and then the agent's responsible for following up with them, and then we just track it that way as it comes in. If that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. I mean, does anyone else have questions around that, what that looks like, how they get added to the database? Now, the nice thing about Eventbrite, I will say, Abby, right, it sends them emails too, correct? Like I think it'll send them emails prior to the event, which helps with the touches.
Yeah, and we also do, we text before the event. We do a slide dial voicemail. We send a reminder through Eventbrite, all those fun things. So there's tons of ways to use Eventbrite to follow up with people.
Abby, do y'all use the free version, or do you pay for it to ask like additional questions?
It's free. It
Okay.
doesn't Yeah, it doesn't cost additional. You just have to create the question. It's like hidden, so you might have to do a little bit of digging on how to create it. But it is just free. So
Okay, good to know, because I once saw that you have to maybe pay a little bit to ask additional questions, but
no.
you read the fine print a little bit better. Thank you.
So let's discuss, because now you guys have talked a little bit about the pre-event, what it looks like to market to that, to call around it, to slide out or Eventbrite around it. Let's talk about the post-event. Who's got a post-event follow-up plan that's super effective or that converts at a high level?
We did sorry we missed you cards to the people that registered and did not attend for some of the bigger events. It's probably like 75% people did show up. So we just mailed handwritten cards just saying, sorry we missed you, hoping to see you at the next one, and just and then give them a call. But would love to hear other things that y'all might have done.
At our events, if people register when people RSVP and they don't show up, the next day we make a phone call to them. Hey, is everything okay? We missed you yesterday. Just checking. We're worried about you. Give us a call. That's it. And I'll say that we get more phone calls back from that than any other messages that we leave. So that's something that we do to follow up. After we do a pie event in Thanksgiving, and we have it at a restaurant. So we have some hors d'oeuvres and we have some sangria and we have a band playing, or, a guy playing music. It's indoor, outdoor, so people can wander around. And we also have a photographer there, so you can have your Christmas pictures done and have them ready. And we just print those and mail them to everybody in a card saying, if you want additional prints, let us know. Is it effective? It's top of mind. And people mail things back like, oh, we got a Christmas card from somebody with the photos that we took of them. So that's kind of cool.
I have a question about that, since our team did a photo event. The hardest part was matching the client to the photo. How do you guys manage that? The only thing we could think of was making them hold like a sign with their name on it. And I didn't know if that was impersonal in any way.
So the first year we were like, how are we supposed to know who these people are? I've never seen any of them. I didn't, I was new. I don't know who they are. The photographer, and then we did name tags, but then the name tags look really crappy in the picture, so everyone peels off their name tags. But one picture is taken with your name on it, and then the next picture is taken of you. That's it. We just had a little whiteboard that they wrote on.
We actually had a sign-in sheet before they took their picture, and then the photographer put the code next to the photo that he or she took. So each picture that was taken would say like 19. Well, the Nelsons were photo 19 through 23. And then the photographer sent us that sheet after the event. So that's very helpful too.
Good idea.
Who else has had an event that is working? Maybe it's not working as well as you want it to be, and we could all workshop that together, or had just a great turnout, whether it was a small or big, digital or in-person event. Let's share.
I mean, we only had one other event last year, and that was a shred party that we did in September. And we advertised locally through small farming communities that we have. And in years past, people got out of their cars and came and talked to us. And we're in a little strip shopping center. So there's a cupcake place, edible arrangements, a golf carts, a doctor's office, a nail place. So all of those people came out and set up tables on the sidewalk, and they were giving away prizes as well, so you could register. And then this year the people were like, oh, we're not registering, they're not getting out of the car. So all of our gifts were, you know, all of our door prizes were registered. So they drove up in a line, and basically we just stood in the parking lot. One person handed out, do you want to enter and try to win a draw, you know, a door prize? You just need to put your name and address on here. And then the next person would be picking them up after they filled them out. So there was like 3 of us in the line. How are you? So glad you came, blah, blah, blah. We got a couple of leads from that. It worked out pretty well. We're always concerned because our parking lot is small, and what if everyone comes? What if everyone comes and the sheriff is out here yelling at us for blocking the traffic, right? So the challenges are real. What if it rains? What if we fill up the truck? It's fun.
Last year we did, that we had good turnout for. I can't tell you what the return was, but good turnout for some charitable events. So we did collections for a variety of local charities where folks dropped off supplies either at Terry's house, the Rainmaker's house, or because she lives right in the her farm area, or we offered to pick it up from folks. And so it was a good opportunity, I think, for her. She saw lots of people and got to have one-on-one conversations with people as they dropped things off.
We did some similar, only it was more on the lines of a fundraiser party where people came, and we actually used a high-end listing. The folks, the sellers, let us have a big party there to raise money for one of our organizations. And so I don't have all the stats either because I wasn't here, but I saw all of the information from there. And so we raised $50,000 and matched it. And so it was there were probably about 150 people there, I think. And so, you know, I don't know what happened after as far as leads and those kinds of things, but those in the past have been well attended for actually raising money. So, and the people get to see a very cool property when they come too, which I think is a big draw.
So Megan, I think your question was like what we could have advice on, like events. So like last couple years we host a summer event, and we have minimal turnout because in Minnesota the summer is 4 months. So I like to maybe ask some people who are in that, you know, seasonal locations, how you get more people to attend a summer event versus a winter, because winter ones and fall are pretty easy to get people to come to. It's the summer events that we struggle with.
Excuse me, I could share here, Abby. We have had success. I don't share geographical location, but I'm in Idaho. Summers are cherished here as well because it gets real cold in the summer, or in the winter, excuse me. We focused on weekdays, not weekends, first of all. We've moved to earlier afternoons instead of evenings as well. And we try to do something kind of local to other outside activities and keep it brief as well. So what we've done is like barbecues in the park, had our clients just kind of come there, join, mingle. Maybe we got a volleyball game going on or some other yard games. And we've had pretty good turnout there. Now it's still summer and it's still our lighter attended events for sure, but we're still getting around 70, 80 people through the door.
Awesome, thank you.
And may I say that our objective isn't to get people there, it's to talk to people on the phone about the event. So we used to be really concerned that we were trying to get all of our past customers to come, and how would that look? And really, it's better for us if we have less people coming
this is what you'll
Because
have.
then it costs less money and less output. But I mean, the whole idea is that we are just calling you to let you know we're doing this wonderful thing. We hope you can join us. Golly, you can't make it? We're so bummed. Yes, right? Maybe next time, because we've done, you guys who are up north, we're in Florida. So in the summer here, it's hotter than blazes and no one wants to go outside. So we do indoor activities. What do you think? A movie. We've done a couple of days where we've rented out a couple of movie theaters and showed some fun movies. But this past year, no movies are released because they were renting out the whole theater for like $100. What? I don't know. But yeah.
I really appreciate you sharing that, right? Because that does get glossed over when I think we get into the day-to-day and we start looking at these events and how do we make it bigger. And at the end of the day, it's all part of our touch plan, right? And it should be used to go to the MREA and look at that 12-to-2 conversion with our MET database, right? Those people who know us, like us, trust us, right? And if you do that, that conversion rate, 1 repeat business, 1 referral, works out to be like 16 point something % conversion rate. So essentially 17% if we upgrade it, or you can lower it, say 16% conversion rate out of that database. So I love the fact that Kathy brought that up, because it is nice to have these community events. And I think we have an opportunity as a community to mastermind around how are we doing this at a high level where we're getting referrals, right? Which is what Megan talked about at the beginning. What is the ROI on that? How do we track it?
Abby, so we're in Cleveland, Ohio, so I guess kind of similar weather, maybe not quite as cold winters. However, one thing we had success with a couple years ago was taking people to a minor league baseball game. So I'm not talking about the Cleveland Indians. I'm talking about like the minor league game that goes on, outside of the city. And we actually got a really good engagement there because it's cheaper. Like we could actually rent out like the party box. And then just invite people to that. So, and our rainmaker was super excited because he got to throw out the first pitch. So.
I think in Utah, it's not quite as cold as Idaho. I'm from Idaho. I know how it is. We recognize people by their coats up there. So I pity anyone that lives in Idaho and Minnesota. In Utah, we don't plan any summer activities in the month of August because people in Utah are notoriously procrastinators, and they all shove all their family vacations into the month of August before everybody goes back to school. And so we've learned over the years that August is just a horrible month to get people out. We do all of our summer activities in June. Because people, like I said, people are waiting till August to do all their family vacations, and we get a really good turnout in June. So.
Yeah, before COVID times, we've done, I think, 4 years in a row, other than this past May, kind of with Elizabeth. We did minor league. I'm in Little Rock, Arkansas. And again, our summers are very hot and humid here. So anything later than Memorial Weekend, you're out. Otherwise, you'll be at the lake. So anyways, we do minor league baseball, rent out a big pavilion, usually on a Thursday afternoon. The game starts about 7 o'clock, and that's when we have about 200 to 250 people attend that event. It's about $20 a head. Huge buffet of food, pays for tickets. We want the whole family. We want them to invite friends. It's a very expensive event, and our sponsors, pay for that as well. And they set up a table. We've got like a step and repeat type background that people can take photos, photo booths. First pitch is thrown out, all the games between the innings. We try to have all of our people. We do door prizes that our sponsors give out. So anyways, it's a big fun night, usually a few days to recover after we have that, but lots of referrals. They love it. And even this year, we got calls this summer like, hey, are y'all doing the Travs game? Like, well, the season's postponed till next year. So, and that's a lot of the calls we've now built. It's just like, hey, we take all of our clients to, the Travelers games. So they've enjoyed it. So it's now like branding. Every May they look forward to it.
You know, going back to one thing that we did this last year, through COVID, Utah didn't shut down, and so we had a lot of opportunities that I'm sure a lot of you didn't have. But our biggest event by far was our pie event that we did the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. We gave out 804 pies. The reason, and we ran a survey, we said, you know, why did you come? Was it our marketing? Was it, you know, what was it? And the overwhelming majority said it's because we offered drive-through service. And so we did this drive-through event. We had cars lined up for forever trying to come in and get their pies. It was like 30 degrees that night. It was not super cold, but it was cold. But people really enjoyed not having to get out of their car and come into the building like we did in the past. We always had them come into our lobby and meet us that way. But people love the fact they can just drive through and get their pies and leave.
Hey, Jared, did y'all do local bakeries, or where did y'all order 800 and something pies?
Yes, we did. And if anyone else is from Salt Lake City on this call, I apologize. We actually bought out the local bakery called Neaters. We bought out the entire thing in the Salt Lake area. And people were calling up to try and get pies, and they couldn't get any because we bought them all. And we filled a moving van full of them and brought them to our parking lot. So I apologize for that. But yeah, that was, it was a local bakery. We use them every year. Yeah.
Going off the idea of pie, something that I heard of once was that somebody had a specific bakery that was known for their famous version of a pie. I forget what it was, but it was only available at their event each year. So there was an allure, it was exclusive.
So our pie event, do y'all have any ideas of something hosted like the pie event, you know, that some of us did at Thanksgiving? I would love to do something like that, you know, springtime, even maybe like Valentine's, you know, like sharing the love. I don't know if it's chocolate covered strawberries, flowers, whatnot. I didn't know, since our pie event was successful and easy to do, drive-through style. I don't know if do y'all have any ideas of what, you know, events y'all are going to be doing for the next, you know, Q1 and Q2?
We're doing next month for Valentine's Day, drive-by date night. So we're going to put together a basket, and it'll have like wine and candy and popcorn, all that kind of stuff. So then they can drive up and pick it up, because we had a huge turnout for our pie day as well.
One idea I had was corned beef before St. Patrick's Day. So drive up and pick up a corned beef.
Can I ask a question for you folks that are doing these pie events? How do you know how many pies that you're going to need? Do you have them say they're going to come and pick one up ahead of time, kind of like a registration of sorts?
Yeah, RSVPs. And
Yeah.
we offer 4 flavors of pies, and they choose.
Yeah. RSVPs we offer too. And we do the whipped cream question. You know, like, and if you can give us a referral before the pie party, we'll throw in a can of whipped cream. And that's always funny. And we give away whipped cream. And there's always some remark that you never want to hear about whipped cream from certain people, which is funny.
And it does help, even in this is past experience. I thought it was a joke, and then we did it our next pie event, and it is amazing how many more you will get in interactions based on just giving away the free can.
Right? It's something for free.
Yeah.
The pie's free too. I mean, right? Oh, apple or pumpkin, great. But you want free whipped cream? Oh, I'm going to think of somebody. I know I am.
So a question too around giving away all of this food. So my son has celiac, so our entire house is gluten free. So like we did our pie giveaway. There were leftover pies for people who didn't show up, and I can't take any of those home. Does anybody do anything special for some of those allergies? Like, how do you go about doing that?
I'm celiac as well, and a bunch of people put on there because we did pecan and pumpkin pie. I know we saw like star, star, star. Like I'm alert. My husband's highly allergic to nuts. We gave some of our pies away for the local charity events, food pantries. I took a few extras to my family, and we went ahead and ordered for our first time doing it. We had 145 orders, and I think I ordered 140 pies. So, and we only had about 12 left over. So we just kind of divvied them out between our team and gave them away to the market center. Here you go, MCA, here you go, team leader, and a few other people.
We put on our requests, what kind of pie would you like? Or would you just like to come to the event and not get a pie? Because we're having music and sangria and some little tasty nuggets of food for you. And, a lot of people are like, I don't really need a pie. Our clientele is much older. A lot of 55 plus communities. And they're like, what am I going to do with a whole pie? I don't know, split it with a friend. I can order you a small one. I'll take the whole thing.
I'm sorry, I forget who asked this question, but a couple questions back, it was like, what is the equivalent for Q1, Q2? And our team's not doing this, but the only thing I could think of is like the really humorous Valentine's Day rush at like 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. If you go into the grocery store, like every man on planet Earth is like, where are the flowers? Because I forgot. Like maybe it's pick up a bouquet of flowers or a dozen roses or something. Like come pick up your bouquet of flowers so that you definitely have something to give to your significant other.
I like that idea, Emily. And talking about like first or second quarter, this will be the first year. And so we haven't thought through the entire process, but we're going to do a tree or a plant giveaway for Earth Day.
These are a great idea, guys. Keep it coming. So if you've got questions about your marketing calendar, you've not got your events quite set up yet, if you've got questions about how to get 20 to 1 or, less than 20 to 1, so how do you get 18 to 1, 15 to 1, whatever you're thinking about, you have 20 minutes left. So ask away and let the group help you brainstorm.
I have a question about calls prior to and afterwards. Who on your team is making those calls? How do you assign those to people of other, if you've got agents involved with it, are they responsible for their own sphere? My worry would be that they'd be like, oh, well, I was busy doing showing, so I didn't call them. How does that work?
Emily, our team always has those questions. So we have three agents that make calls plus two, we have a transaction coordinator and myself. So what we did was we started one day early and said to the agents, call your well, here's how we divided up. And I learned this from my coach. I appreciate you for giving me that information. We divided up the database into the D2D, DT, D2, what is the letters? So we said to the people the first time around, okay, we're going to go through it. You get A, you get B, you get C. And then if you come across somebody who has also the sphere of another person, skip that person. And they'll come back and call their own sphere. The second time we did it, we decided we would just call everybody. Because if you, we would just say, oh, I must have got your name by mistake, but I'll tell them that you talked to them. So we had a little script for it. Like, how come John isn't calling me today? Oh, John, I got your name. I'm sorry. I'll let him know that you were talking about him. Are you still going to come? That kind of thing. So there's people who care that their agent called them or didn't call them. And we just, we're a team. So we try to figure out how to make it work.
we actually scheduled an all-day call day. So we divide everybody up based on, you know, who worked with whom or whose sphere it is. And then we have one day where everyone's just in the office making phone calls, and, you know, we huddle back together every couple of hours and check in, just kind of to keep everybody accountable to actually making those calls.
We've actually leaned towards a lot of automation. So our agents are really bad at calling, and we don't have like our transaction coordinators or operations call. We do remind our agents that they can call and text on their own, but this year we just introduced a lot of automated workflows for pre, during, and post event, and that's what we relied on.
Nobody said this, so I'll come out and say it. We're 100% agent driven here. You know, of course, they're responsible for their own sphere. That's how we have it divided up in the database, so they know who they are to be inviting to these events. We make sure their call lists are printed out. We typically start official calls 60 days before events. We have some kind of scheduled reminders and stuff throughout there. It's still an opportunity for growth for our team, by the way. I found in our last events that I thought we were calling too late. We were really pushing in the final, like, call it 14 days leading up to the event, which was just too late to be really officially inviting people. So that's why we've gone all the way now to 60, where we do some other like text messaging and stuff through our CRM, but the calls begin 60 days ahead.
Hopefully y'all are hearing that anything can work. Just create a system around it and go for it. So if you've got nothing, something's better than nothing. I will add, and this of course supports what Gary Keller's been saying for, I don't know, a decade, but just researching the teams that I coach and keeping score on them and their turnover, like Hannah was mentioning, you'll get some turnover from just having the event, right? Like you'll turn out like an occasional referral or two. You'll get better, you'll get more turnover if you have the non-primary relationship call around the event. And you'll get the best turnover if you have the primary relationship call around the event.
Yeah,
So
I
if
mean,
no one calls, just have someone call. You're going to do better than nothing.
yeah, for us, we are all responsible. There's 12 of us on our team, responsible for calling our own sphere, even us admin. Sometimes we will, I'll let somebody else call mine if I'm, you know, too busy, or, you know, it's not my favorite thing to do, but it's okay. But then, you know, divide up the past clients. You know, I've got everybody, so they call every single one of their past clients that they have closed. And I think that has really helped, you know, just checking in with their past clients. And another thing we're going to do is do a few videos through the emails, you know, of our Rainmaker, inviting everybody.
One idea we're kicking around for this quarter for our event is to do like a virtual concert and then maybe a fundraiser. So we'll pay the artist, and then any money donated will go to whatever charitable cause we come up with. Has anyone else done anything like that? And is there any advice?
I guess you can give us advice once you do the event and tell us how it goes.
Yeah, we'll share our playbook.
Yeah, that's the first I've heard of that. I think it's brilliant. I think it could be a great idea. One, what type of artist are you thinking about? Because that could potentially segment who attends, right? Like what's your plan, what's your ideas around that?
We had one of our agents recommend someone who like lives across the street from him. I don't remember his name off the top of my head. However, just Googling him, it looks like he's, you know, decently well known in the city. So
I think, Liz, that Katya did that last summer, although I can't recall for sure if she pulled the trigger, but that was on her event list. So you might reach out to her on Facebook. Katya
okay,
Jones.
thank you.
ATJA, Katya Jones.
And I had we had one of our agents, he was going towards the Leukemia Lymphoma Society Man of the Year. So he put something together. I can put you in contact with him because I don't know exactly how he set it up, but he just pretty much did like a Facebook event.
"11 minutes left. You came here for answers and brainstorming. What is on your mind that hasn't been discussed or talked about that you're dying to have a discussion around?"
I am curious if you guys make a distinction between marketing event for public or non-Mets versus events specifically to your sphere and past clients. Like, do you guys focus on events in the public where the whole point is to meet new people? And is that a separate endeavor and focus than your client events?
So we do one community event, and it's kind of awesome actually because our whole office hosts it. And so, but we've thought about doing one individually. And so you can invite, you know, surrounding communities, send out a mailer, kind of like farming, to everyone. We've done that. And then we let our sponsors invite all their friends and families. So all of our lenders, you know, they can invite their friends. We have everybody register, so we get all that contact information. Those are some things that we've done public. And then we are looking at just doing a past client event. So just for people we've closed business with in the last 12 months. But usually they're pretty open. I mean, if Joe wants to come out from the side of the road and, you know, put his name and number in a registration form, I'm not going to say no. So that's kind of how we do it.
During COVID, with all the parking lot parties, we've opened it up to the public and to everybody. Post on Nextdoor Neighbor, we would ask people, hey, where did you hear about this event? And it was a lot through Facebook events, blasting it on our personal pages through the team page. I even did a few, you know, sponsored ads for it, just publicly known, you know, brand recognition. But then the bigger, like the Travelers baseball games, that's all private. You know, since it's $20 a person, that's only for our exclusive clients, friends and family. But I do like having the public events, you know, so going forward, I do want to mix the two and do both. So it hits both people.
I don't know. I had several teams that did a reverse bold 100, although they're not on this call. Did anyone complete one of those?
We did. We did a green egg. It's like a barbecue grill type thing. So we did that back in, I want to say July or August. And again, sad to say, but we haven't been keeping track of our rate of return on these things. So that'll be something, a goal for this year, to make sure that we're tracking that kind of thing. But I know that the Rainmakers impression was that it was a good event. It was successful. I will say too, Emily, to your question, we do a variety of events. So we have ones that are open to all of the public. We also do to specific groups of people within our database. And then we also do stuff very specific to our VIPs.
Just a comment, with Command, you can create custom lead sources. So you can create a custom lead source for every event so that you can track where everyone came from.
Yeah.
Just a plug for Command.
Going going back to the having agents call, does anybody have any scripts that they loved or at least didn't hate for the agents to call before, during, and after the event?
Once you have your script, make sure you script practice, and as the admin, make sure that they have the time and the date correct. One or two of the girls didn't have that. So make sure you script practice that they're reading, and you individually script practice with every single teammate that's making calls. Just learn from experience.
You want to know how to go from 20 to 1 to 7 to 1, which is my best performing team, 7 conversations to 1 appointment. It's script practice. Just pick whatever script, but then practice it. Make the agents practice it.
We kind of just use like the Ford, make it a conversation, not a script. So kind of like the Ford type script from Bold, and, hey, how's it going? Just chit chat with them and then go in. Well, a reason for my call was, we're having this event, hoping you can make it. And then kind of go back to life talk.
A lot of success with that. Is everyone familiar with that, what Hannah's describing? Ford. Getting some head nods of family, occupation, recreation, dreams. Okay. Thanks, Megan. So I will add to that, and I'm sure Megan could too when it comes to that. Phil, to answer your question, I think if you use the Ford, I definitely would create a sandwich around that. So Ford bringing up one of those, right? A family, occupation, recreation, dream, stating your purpose. So purpose is inviting them to whatever your event is, and then recapping with the Ford question as well, right? Going back to whatever it was you initially were talking about.
Changing gears in 4 minutes. We're doing for our geographic farm, like scavenger hunt for St. Patrick's Day. Find the gold coin, find the pot of gold, win a prize. Has anybody done something like that?
It's all you, Phil.
No,
Well,
it's a
then
great idea though. I love that.
I'll pull in Elizabeth and let you all know how it goes afterwards. Mostly the goal is to lean on social media. We have access to the community's social media page, Facebook page, and so we're going to try it, see what we can do.
Are you going to have them just like take pictures when they find each of these things?
I was hoping you would tell me exactly what you did and and the best way, but yeah, probably. Yeah, probably.
Masterminding around that, I wonder, Megan, didn't you had posted a geocaching app, correct?
Yeah, there is such a thing where it's like a scavenger hunt in the world. And there's an app for that. So you could just go find the thing. That requires a lot of maybe more infrastructure than you're wanting to do. I don't know, but you could have everybody like download the app and then take a picture when they found it or something. I'm not sure, but something you could look into.
Yeah, I thought it would help you with the format. Maybe not use that app, but if you've seen how they run it, you could at least get an idea of maybe a way you could structure it.
We were thinking if it halfway works, to make it a little bit bigger for Easter. We normally do a Easter egg hunt. and to kind of expand it in the land of COVID to move it that way. It's like a geocache Easter egg type hunt, but just at the brainstorm stage right now.
Yeah, you could drop a pin. I guess that'd be the closest thing to like the geocache app. Like if you dropped a pin on a map and then made the map shareable, maybe. I don't know, just spitballing.
Dropped pins for each, and then find the eggs, and inside the egg is like a code or something. And then once you get all the eggs in the code, you put it together for something bigger to find the final location.
Oh, I like that. And then you could like text a picture or something, you find it.
Yeah.
I instantly went to a kid. I'm thinking if I got direct mail, right? Because we all struggle on what to send out with direct mail. If I got a treasure map of direct mail, I would be all in. It'd be hard to get new leads, but if you had farming areas, me personally, direct mail of a map, of a treasure map of where these items were with some instructions would be really cool.
I say, huh. I like that. Huh.
Or treasure maps that leads you to the first one, and then once you get there, there's like a QR code or something that you can scan to give you like the second part of the treasure map. And
Cool. 1 minute left. Zach, tell us what we're doing next week.
So next week, by popular demand, we're going to be going over career visioning. So bring your questions.
Love it. This was fun, guys. Thanks for bringing your ideas, your questions, everything. You guys are the best. I hope you all left with some tidbits, some notes. You left smarter even by just 1%. And we will see you next Thursday.
Nice.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you. Hey, Megan, you have hair.